We just got back from our half-term break after a busy start to the spring term. I arrived at school early, hoping to complete some much-needed admin work before the children came back for their first day after the holiday. My laptop had been at home with me during the break, so when I logged on at 7 a.m, everything appeared to be completely normal. At around 8 a.m, one of our admin team called to say she was unable to open any documents on her computer. I assumed it was a simple software issue, perhaps an Adobe update of some sort. So I asked another member of the office team to try opening files on their device. Before they had the chance, a pop-up appeared on the screen, a long, poorly written message full of grammatical errors and random capitalized words. The office team were understandably confused, but I recognized it instantly. It was ransomware. The message threatened to release data that had supposedly been stolen from us. At that point, none of us realized the scale of what was unfolding, or that the attack would leave our school offline for almost 6 weeks. We immediately contacted our IT provider and alerted the head teacher. IT support instructed us not to turn on any further devices and not to attempt to access any electronic files. We only had 30 minutes until pupils were due to arrive. We had to keep the situation contained so that the children's return to school remained calm and unaffected. It was mayhem. All available admin staff were sent to notify teachers. The atmosphere was chaotic as staff scrambled to prepare lessons without any access to technology or any electronic resources. Some of our younger teachers who rely heavily on digital planning found this particularly difficult. While the school day carried on, the head teacher and I spent the morning coordinating with local police, the National Crime Agency, the Information Commissioner's Office, our Data Protection Officer, the local authority, the IT provider, and the cybersecurity specialists from the provider's sister company. The hardest part of that first day was the complete lack of information. We had no understanding of what had happened, whether data had been taken or not, or how long recovery would take. Over the days that followed, we had countless meetings, while the school remained offline. Teaching continued, but the limitations were significant, and staff were understandably frustrated. The head teacher and I were guided by the cybersecurity team, but securing their support required a costly additional consultancy contract. This level of response was not included in our original service agreement. We were inundated with jargon and technical explanations that we struggled to fully understand. We immediately began researching in our own time and seeking advice from acquaintances with relevant experience. We even went out to our Vice Chair of Governors. He's a retired businessman. He also provided invaluable insight, helping us navigate the challenges and what we were being told, and at times, what we were being sold. The impact of losing technology was enormous. Teachers and support staff were stressed by the lack of access to essential resources, and the administrative team were equally overwhelmed as every process had to revert to manual systems. Even routine tasks such as transferring funds, sending information, and recording payments became laborious. We had also been placed under the local authority lockdown to prevent any secondary attacks, adding further restrictions. The head teacher and I worked late every night, and we were physically and emotionally and mentally exhausted. We had to balance transparency with caution, sharing enough information to be honest, but not so much that it caused unnecessary worry. This meant that some information was held back, leaving us to carry the emotional weight of knowing that sensitive data could potentially appear on the dark web at any time. Throughout the attack, I was immensely grateful for the support of the cybercrime team at West Yorkshire Police. They were available whenever I had questions or concerns, and they monitored the dark web for any signs of leaked information. In an unexpected twist, nothing was ever released, and the threats turned out to be an elaborate bluff. Nevertheless, the disruption, anxiety, and stress caused by the attack were profound. Before this incident, we had received and delivered whole staff cybersecurity training focused mainly on recognizing phishing emails. We assumed this would be the likely route of any breach. But what we did not expect was that our IT company would be at fault. They had failed to carry out vital patch updates and had not closed inactive accounts or servers, leaving weaknesses in our cyber perimeter. These vulnerabilities allowed the attackers to gain entry through brute force. At the time, I did not have the technical understanding or the confidence to scrutinize that service level agreement, or even to challenge the level of support we were being offered. I had to rely heavily on the information presented to us, and did not have the knowledge to question whether it was sufficient or appropriate. It was only through the experience of navigating the attack, seeking external support, and learning under pressure did we realize how unprepared we had been. The incident enabled us to develop our understanding, and I now feel better equipped to more effectively assess IT provision and ensure that all the safeguards are truly in place to protect our school.